Hello there everyone, Toy and Game Collector here, bringing you another video. Today I'll be discussing something different. I'll be giving my thoughts on Toys to Life video games. Now, what exactly is Toys to Life, you might ask? Toys to Life, well, these are all different Toys to Life games. Accessories. I do have the games, I just don't want to dig them out right now. Basically, inside the bases of these little figures, there's computer chips, and you would connect the chips to the figures through portals like this, or through special readers in your system, and you could send the character in the game. So, for example, if I had this plugged in, I could send these two characters if I wanted to into a game, and they would stay in the game until you took them off. Plus, they were little toys that you could play with. It sounded pretty interesting. Now, one of the first early instances of Toys to Life that I ever was aware of, it was called Mighty Beans, I think it was called. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a very early computer game from the mid-2000s. You bought figures, you put them on a portal, they went to your computer. The first one that I actively remember being interested in was Disney Infinity. Now, Disney Infinity came out around, I want to say 2010, 2011, I don't remember. But I remember it was one of the first Toys to Life things I ever got interested in. As you can see, I have a good amount of the figures and playsets. I have 5 playsets in total. I'm only going to show you 4 because I can't find the 5th one. Let's take a look at the playsets first. These are the playsets. We have Rise Against the Empire, Twilight of the Republic, Toy Box Speedway, and The Force Awakens. And these are all my figures. These figures cost around $10 for like one figure, maybe $15, $20 for a 2-pack or a playset. Example, the starter pack for the PS3, which is how I got this. You got Anakin, Ahsoka, and Twilight of the Republic. You also got the portal, which will connect to your console. You could send the figures in there. You would put the play sets up here. This would be player 1, this would be player 2. And it would light up and glow to signal that it was working. With Rise Against the Empire, you got the Death Star, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia. With The Force Awakens, you got Rey and Finn. And some single pack figures I have are Sabine Wren, Penelope Von Schweetz, and Wreck-It Ralph. Disney Infinity was pretty fun, but it was very limited. Now, one of the first problems you have with Toys to Life is you need to keep buying the figures in order to access certain parts of the game. For example, with Twilight of the Republic, it said, okay, if you want to go to this area, you need a character with a jetpack or something. None of these characters have jetpacks. Or you need, a character with a lightsaber. Not too hard, I have 4 characters that can use a lightsaber. It was pretty frustrating. It wasn't that great. It was fun, I do miss Disney Infinity. But it did have its drawbacks, I'll be honest. One Toys to Life thing I really want to get into was Lego Dimensions, because it actually used real Lego bricks. I actually put this together and built it. I built all this stuff here. It was a fun little idea. We got into it when I learned that Sonic the Hedgehog was going into Lego Dimensions. I do have the Sonic Lego Dimensions figure and accessories, but he's with the rest of my Sonic collection in storage right now. This is basically most of what I have. It worked the same way as Disney Infinity. You had the portal and these figures. It had 7 spots. This would be where you put your main fit character. And around here is where you would put all your accessories and figures. You could hold up to 6 at a time. It was interesting. But my problem with Lego Dimensions was the same problem I had with Disney Infinity, because there was so much stuff you could see, but unless you had the figures, you really couldn't do much. Like, you were limited to what you had. Which was very frustrating in some regards. Now, I've never actually beaten LEGO Dimensions yet. Also, with LEGO Dimensions, unlike Disney Infinity, LEGO Dimensions are pretty expensive because they're actual LEGO bricks, and LEGO bricks are not cheap. Like, for a level pack, it would cost you around $25, if I'm correct. You got, like, 2 vehicles and 1 figure, usually. Like, there were also character packs. They were not that much cheaper. They were, like, 15, maybe. I forget. LEGO Dimensions was fun. I liked it for what it was, but it did have its drawbacks. So, yeah, you can see where I'm going with why Toys to Life, I think, died out. Next, we have Amiibo. Now, what is an Amiibo? Well, these don't have a specific game they work with. Like, these were designed by Nintendo to work with the Super Smash Bros. Game. But Nintendo made it so that you could use these in multiple games that supported Amiibo. So I have Rob the Robot and the Family Computer Robot from Japan. Yeah, this was my favorite character in Smash back in 2016 when I first played it. Rob was an interesting character. Right, Amiibos used to be extremely collectible. Like, I remember seeing videos about people talking about all their huge collections, like all their rare ones, all the things they had to do to get them, like how much money they were going to make off them in the future. Amiibos are still popular, they're still around, they're just not as big as they used to be. I remember one funny story with an Amiibo I had, getting my first one, was it was when the first Super Mario Maker game came out on the Wii U, and my mom was at a Target, and she saw a bunch of people waiting in line for what they said was a figure. She didn't know what the figure was, so she waited in line, and when she got to the end of the line, she bought the last classic Mario Amiibo, and she told me the guy behind her started crying because she bought the last one, and she didn't even know what it was. She asked me what it was, and I told her what it was. I don't have that Amiibo anymore. I sold it. It's not that hard to get nowadays. Amiibos are fun little collectibles. I like them. It's one of the Toys to Life I think has a purpose besides just being used with one game. Because you don't need the Amiibos to play the games. They're like little extra things. Another Toys to Life thing I'm sad didn't really catch on, because it's pretty cool, was StarLink Battle for Atlas. It was on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. This is the Nintendo Switch version, which came with this awesome model of the Star Fox R-Wing. Now this is pretty cool, because I just love Star Fox as a game. And this is where you would put your Joy-Con controllers, and you would... Basically, the point with StarLink was you would have these toy spaceships. You would have them connected to something like this. And every time you could put stuff on it, and it would go into the game. It was a pretty interesting idea. But I think the reason this didn't succeed well was because this starter pack was $80. And the digital version was $60. And you did not need this or any of this stuff to play the game. The game works without this stuff just fine. So a lot of people, I think, either bought the digital version or they didn't bother at all playing the game. Too bad, because StarLink was a very interesting idea. I remember being very excited for it. I actually like the game. I thought it's pretty fun. And that's pretty much the last Toys to Life thing that I happen to own. There are other things like Skylanders, but I don't have Skylanders. I have no interest in it whatsoever. So yeah, that's Toys to Life. In some ways, I do kind of miss when they used to have like this stuff all the time. But in other ways, I can understand why it's not around as much as it used to be. So as fun as they are to collect, they did have their limitations. A good example would be the Amiibos, because a lot of people wanted them. A lot of them went for high prices on eBay. A lot of them were hard to get. Lego Dimensions, it was expensive. Disney Infinity, well, Disney just gave up on that because they didn't think it was doing well the way it was. But I enjoyed them. Well, that pretty much wraps up the video about my opinions about Toys to Life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with another video. This is Toy and Game Collector signing off.